before I deal with the other materials, I just want to say that the characterization of some of the issues that people have brought in front of you as being Democrats versus Republicans is patently absurd, since philosophically and in terms
I
of
was quoting the paper, Tom, just to clarify the record.
You were characterizing the paper.
I was
also.
characterizing the paper.
Right. Anyway, patently absurd with this respect. In New York City, man, can I have this block of? I didn't finish a sentence. Can I finish? Please stop the clock and reset it. Thank you. Let me just speak for 7 minutes, please. In New York City, no Republican could get away with not endorsing and enacting ETPA. Okay? For years, we've been in front of you. For better than a year, our newest member has been saying, oh, we're going to do something about that. People are moving now. Rents are moving now. The actions that you took just tonight to increase enforcement to clear out illegal apartments, those people need rent control. The people that will be in the remaining apartments need rent control. The people in the balance of the market need rent control, just from the dynamic that gets spun off by doing that. You put on the agenda, and Mr. Hanauer, I'm shocked that you didn't call me after sitting at that public hearing 3 weeks ago. I can't believe you can show your face in public and behave the way you do. This should have been in the pocket of every tenant in Snowden House before you adopted it. This should have generated a phone call to at least the 2 people that attended the public hearing that was held secreted in the bottom of the recreation building over here at noon. You're giving a tax abatement of our money to support an apartment complex that there's a need for. None of you have lifted a finger before now, and I don't see a contract protecting the tenants here at all. And I'm sure the tenants there don't know anything about it. I don't understand how this happens, and yet you're going to position yourself when you're speaking in a partisan way as Democrats. Like I said, laughable. I would like people to see. This is a sign. A photograph.
Across the board, please. You know better than that.
Okay, I'm holding up for the camera for our fellow residents to see. This is a photograph of the sign that sits on the Maui property, which is dedicated parkland. You can dispute that factually. You'll have time to do it. But this describes the project that you have been holding out as being this public benefit, and we've been saying is a luxury condominium project. The sign says, coming soon. Luxury condominiums. Doesn't say public open space guaranteed. There are fences all over this public parkland.
That is well,
this
now
sign
for construction there is absolutely correct.
Well, this says what's going up there.
No, I think the proof, Don, becomes in the paperwork, not just a simple sign.
Well, actually,
you know better. And as far as
please, can I finish?
Finish.
First of all, I read the agreements. I understand the agreement. I'm sorry, say what?
Can you stop howling?
I just want to get like a couple sentences out without being interrupted.
Absolutely.
Long story short, this project is being marketed as a luxury condominium project because it is. Okay? We've been saying for years that what you're doing is selling our public land on the waterfront to build a luxury condominium project. And in fact, this first sign that is sitting in the middle of what was used as a public park for the last 6 years says, coming soon, luxury condominiums on the Hudson. Okay, that's what it says. I didn't put the sign up. Lou Capelli put this, well, that you allowed it, you're allowing it now as a continuing violation on our public land. The question of whether or not there is an ethics board here really has nothing to do with your feelings about whether it will be political or not. It is a matter of fact required under the fundamental law of the village. It is a part of the charter of the village. You took an oath practically every other year since 1999, 1998 to uphold that charter. You don't have the discretion to select which laws you will uphold and not. Certainly you can't intend to do that while you're taking the oath anyway. So we do have a law that requires the board to appoint an ethics board with the powers to take complaints about alleged ethics violations. I would like to know exactly where one does take an ethics violation allegation of any merit, whether it's a patently obvious one or just someone's allegation. Just about every other municipality on the planet has some provision for that. At the moment, we have none. That creates a problem all by itself. You know, the fact that there was no public announcement of this little circus at the waterfront last week is right in line with the fact that there's no public announcement posted on the board about doing a pilot agreement on Snowden or with the public hearings that dealt with it. Nothing by the village mentioned for all that time. And also no public announcement. Well, let me get to the last thing I want to say because I'm really getting frustrated dealing with you people. I'm going to drop the rest of it and say this much. Sitting on the property that the village owns right now are 4 concrete and or brick buildings, or 5 of value unknown to you unless you've had an appraisal done in the last few days, because as at the last meeting you said there were no appraisals of the value of those buildings. Wasting those buildings basically constitutes wasting a public asset. Not as a legal concept, as a practical economic thing. If we have something of value and you turn it into nothing of value, you have taken that value away from us. It's our property. I don't know what you can get right now without an appraisal for 4 concrete or brick structures on the waterfront that exist there. I do know one of them was sufficient to use as a firehouse for several years. So presumably on a rental basis, the value of that building could be fixed at whatever you would have to pay for rent for a firehouse. It's not the largest of those buildings. If it turns out that you waste our buildings on the waterfront, and if it turns out that despite what you may believe, I'm successful in proving that the property was dedicated by the village board in the 1990s, you should probably have had some personal legal advice from your own lawyers as to what your potential personal exposure might be. I just suggest that, so at least you have some place to go.